welcome to the clashing of steel. So today, once again, I am playing elephants. This match would not be that bad if I or my team would only have more infantry units to defend the ranged units. Another big problem is that most of these ranged units are on my side, and I am not capable of defending them. My single unit of spearmen can barely block off a bottleneck. And of course, because of that, there is always a danger of horsemen, which are actually getting hammered rather well. Fortunately, that is only a single unit of horsemen, so that can be taken care of. But the second big problem is that they have a lot of swordsmen incoming. They do have archers that are closest to me at this very moment, but behind there are swordsmen and even falksmen. Even a catapult made a small pounding onto my elephant. The opponents actually have a team composition that could force us and beat us. But because they are not using it as aggressively or effectively, they seem to be mostly on the defensive, although there are a few swordsmen here who are coming towards me. They could have pushed from the other side or around me heavily, fast and aggressively. Perhaps even friendly falksmen could have delayed them, but, well, they're hiding back there. Perhaps another big problem for them, or even for us, is that they forced a lot of their infantry units this way. There are 4 players with infantry coming basically from this side. That is nearly half of their team. Plus there are the archers and catapults. Okay, catapults are stationary, but there are 2 archer players, so 6 players in total. Yeah, I'm sacrificing an elephant. I actually was planning to break at the studio and see what happens. Maybe the archers can burn him down, but that went horribly wrong. But well, we learn from our mistakes and from the replays that we watch. Or I watch. We do have some range units left, but the situation is getting rather hot. So they did have the numbers to force us here. They had 3 players of swordsmen, 1 player of falksmen, 2 players of archers, and even some catapult support. They could have overwhelmed us easily, even if the falksmen would have been here. So, just to be safe, I'm not going to sacrifice my other elephant in meaningless engagement. I got my lesson for the day. They do have these massive numbers, and, well, they're gonna force us. They're gonna force us into our base. They're gonna try and force cap it. But actually, I was already expecting that, and so I just left my elephant in the rear. Just in case they should go for the cap, I can go in there, I can just start stomping and walking over everything. But actually, at the same time, since all of these infantry units were, or are, going for my base, I can easily disengage with my spearmen. I'm doing it just in case I want to use my commander skill, because my commander is still alive. I want to use the bribe. I want to weaken these opponents, just to be safe. Because elephant may be tanky, but it can still be killed with simple swordsmen. So it would be best if I could weaken my opponents. And soon, actually, the fun part will start. Right now we are still quite capable of defending it, or holding back some forces at least. But soon we will be forced out of here. So, because the opponents used their numbers to force us from that side basically into our base, we have used the other side to force ourselves into theirs. Or at least some of my team members have forced themselves. So since the cap bar is ticking, everybody just wants to go for the base. This is what often can happen with overly aggressive team members. They even mass themselves from one side to force into our base. And because of that, the other side often suffers. They do seem to have the numbers to take us on, or perhaps take us even out. But I do not plan to give them the chance of killing me, or my elephant at least. I'm gonna deny them the chance of killing it, because I know elephant is faster than infantry. There is no question about it. I do get smashed here, I do try to do some damage to them, and I do try to support my friendly infantry. But at the same time, I also plan not to sacrifice my elephant. So instead of going head on, smashing and stopping in the middle of opponents, I'm gonna walk through my infantry in hopes of supporting them from their side. But as it was to be expected, the infantry disengaged. So I'm gonna take my chances here. There are 3 players in my base, or our base, and instead of fighting them just like a random elephant player would, I'm gonna start ignoring them, walking through them and damaging them every now and then. The biggest annoying part probably are the Falksmen. They are the fastest and yet the most annoying to catch up with. But I do have the Spearmen and I'm going to use them. This is the simple way you decap with the elephant. You just don't care about most of the infantry. You're gonna ignore them, you're gonna try to walk through them. If I should get surrounded, I'll stomp and just walk over them. I don't even have to deal with them. They all want to deal with me, but I am denying them the chance of dealing with me. This is the simple way of showing it that the elephant does not care about your plans. So I'm just gonna ignore them, stomp them and walk over them. Decapping with elephant for the victory. So since the match is almost over, let's also take a look at the scoreboard. Well, a lot of my score is based upon cap. I did some support, some offense and some defense as well. I'm guessing the most defense came from the sacrificed elephant though. The archers actually didn't do that bad in my team. They managed to do some decapping, they managed to do some offense, and well, I'd say they did better than the opposing archers. So if we take a look at the opposing players, the first 6 players basically, not including the second player, all score was basically around cap. Most of which I decapped. The biggest mistake I could see on their side was that they forced a lot of their players from the side where I was at. We didn't have the numbers to take them all on. We didn't even have the numbers to take on 2 infantries basically. But since they all forced from a single direction, not all of them but most of them, they left an opening which the horsemen and other swordsmen used. Elephant can be an incredible tool if you know how to use them, just like I did here at the very end. It does not need to be used as something that can tank and fight against opponents. It often just needs to be used as a disruptor and you can always move away. Nothing is forcing you to engage. And that is what I basically did. I just didn't care about engaging. Anyways, don't forget to subscribe and thanks for watching.